I don't know where the new vehicle came from, but it's kind of fresh actually. Okay, I think we're good. As you can see, I'm a little bit more dressed up today. I don't know, it's cold, it's like, I might get kind of like sweaty or whatever, but don't you burn more calories if you sweat more? I don't know. Either way, today's topic is gonna be about the importance of a schedule, and this really ties into like environment as well. Which is yesterday's video, but I actually watched my first video this morning, so planning in retrospection. I think that's one of my best videos, the very first one. I kind of liked it. But what I noticed that has kind of changed is, obviously the first video I put a lot of effort because it's like kind of like a first impression thing. I put a lot of time into that video. And, you know, I was working out every day. I said I was dirty bulking, but I was eating pretty healthy, just lots of calories. So I don't know if I ever showed my macro list, but I was eating, one meal was chicken strips and salad with good ingredients, like I make the salad myself, tomatoes, cheese, lettuce, and French fry sauce. I don't know, it's good. What else? I'd have a protein shake in the morning, which is animal supplements from Mountain Ops, which is really good for you and tastes good as well. And then like other stuff that's really good for you. And I was just feeling like really, really good going to the gym every day. The gym was taking up a bit of time, like 2 hours each day, because I have to walk there and then work out and film my workouts if I did that as well. But ultimately it made me really happy, and I was healthy, I was feeling good, and you could tell like in the first video I looked well, I was speaking well, and then I look at my like videos that I've just made recently. Obviously a little bit less effort because I'm trying to put less time into the actual videos. Plus, I'm in kind of a less situation, I guess you could say, or a worse environment, which is tying into yesterday. So obviously my living space isn't as nice. The people I'm around aren't as nice, as opposed to like being by myself and going to the gym with people that are obviously trying to improve themselves. So that's kind of a decrease. Plus the food, like here I'm just eating like shit. My family overall has a bad habit of eating like shit. You know, they make their own food, but my mom douses the garden in Roundup every year, so I don't think it's really that much better for you. Interesting study I saw, Roundup, they say by 2030 or 2035, 1 in 3 kids are supposed to have autism, and it's got a direct correlation to Roundup, supposedly. And vegetable oils are supposed to be really bad for you too, possibly linked to Alzheimer's, but who knows? There's so much. It's all, what's the word I'm looking for? Not subjective, but it's all somebody's opinion of something, not perception. Anyways, moving on. So, like, I was doing a lot of stuff back then that pretty much filled up my morning from 4:30 to 9, which ultimately is fine. You know, if I have super long days like I was having where I only sleep 6-7 hours, I'm working from 9 to 8:30, I think it was, and that's still pretty good compared to the average person. You know, most people are working only 8 hours a day, working, and then they take the rest of the day off. You know, that's a really big thing that I talk about in the past, is like, it takes time to build discipline, build these habits, high performance habits, or a really good schedule. I call them high performance habits. Really good book, by the way. I started reading it. I gotta start that one again, because I haven't been reading. I've been slacking off. Like I told you, I'm kind of had the idea that I was gonna cut down on my schedule, but like I said, I think diversification of your skills is really important because you need to grow in a parallel fashion. So Oh, and I'm kind of caffeinated this morning. That's another thing. Once I ran out of Ignite, which is that Mountain Ops, I said it's not really pre-workout because it's not, it's like a focus drink. Ran out of that. I kind of wanted to cut out caffeine because I don't like having any dependencies, period. You know, I don't take medication. I don't want to take pills every day, ever. Like even if I'm 60, unless I have some chronic illness that I need to take medication to survive, I don't want to be dependent on something. And caffeine is something that, I forget the statistic was, like 80% of the population is addicted to caffeine. So, but what I realized from that is as soon as I cut out caffeine, and I did this halfway through my work period, was that my productivity and performance decreased significantly. And especially under heavy physical working conditions, like caffeine for me, I think this is the reason why everybody takes it, is it just gives me more clarity. My mind is going twice as fast, right? So I'm able to work faster, think faster, and get more done in a short amount of time. And I think that's ultimately the goal, you know, ROI on time. That's my thing. So, I don't know, right now, I don't like having caffeine. I'm really passionate about the subject because there's a difference between caffeine and a really good supplement. Like the Ignite that I was taking, it's not technically pre-workout, not just straight like caffeine. If you actually look at the ingredient list, and I looked up all the ingredients, everything's like super good for you. It's like, if you've ever heard of nootropics, it's a pill that you take for your brain that gives you, it's supposed to improve your mental clarity and your thinking. It's got the same ingredients plus caffeine, a little bit of caffeine. So, you know, and I've taken coffee one day and taken Mountain Ops, you should probably sponsor me for this, but taken Ignite the other day, and the difference is just insane. Like, take Ignite, no jitters. Like right now I'm a little bit jittery, I'm almost vibrating. I didn't have a lot of caffeine. It was actually probably less than what's in a serving in Ignite. But when you take Ignite or a good supplement, no jitters, extreme focus, you know? Sometimes I take caffeine and I'm doing work at home, even after I work out and try to burn my energy, and I just can't focus because it's too jittery, right? And it's take stuff that's good for you. So I'm taking caffeine for now because I think it's gonna improve my ROI. You know, people have taken caffeine forever. I don't think there's any real negative health detriments to taking caffeine. Nobody's died or anything. But I do eventually want to cut out caffeine for the most part. And what I actually ordered, I guess I kind of lied to you guys about spending money. I bought AirPods, which are essential to my living. And I also bought, just $40, it's a subscription service, $40 a month, is Mud Water. So it's a mushroom supplement. Not like magic mushrooms, so it's not psilocybin or anything, and won't make you trip, but it's just stuff like lion's mane and all those really good mushrooms. The stories behind it is pretty cool, actually. It's a guy that, you know, he's the same thing I just talked about. He's kind of sick of everybody's addiction to caffeine, so he's like, yeah, I gotta find a better morning routine. And he came up with this mushroom drink, and it's called Mud Water. So it's essentially, I don't know what country it is. In India, they have a coffee. I forget what the coffee's called, but it's got like a quarter of the caffeine in the actual coffee. And is it matcha? Something like that. But it's that plus all the mushrooms. So long story short, it's supposed to, you know, it really interested me, so I got a bunch. So once I get that, I'm gonna switch from caffeine to that and hopefully start feeling a lot better. And yeah, so I just wanted to point out, like, I think it's really important to reflect, and you always want to be moving in a positive direction. And I watched that video this morning, I'm like, you know, I don't look as good as I did in the first video. I put on a little bit of weight. That's just like me being honest or whatever. I've been eating like crazy and not working out when I was working, which, you know, is really tough. Like, I think I almost fell asleep during a few of the workouts that I actually did. So, but aside from that, you know, now for a few days, I've been workout, running, plus eating decently healthy, so meat every day, whether that's good for you or not. I think it's better than a lot of things. And then doing my like 24-hour fasting. But you know, I look at these things, I look at my mental clarity. You can see my last videos, I haven't been very clear. I've been kind of foggy and all over the place. That could be partially due to caffeine, because I was always caffeinated in the past, kind of like this. Performance. But, you know, I think a lot of it too is eating. Your gut is so important, man. It's like your gut determines your energy levels, your mood. It's a really deep topic, but you gotta be eating things that are good for you and make you feel good. So, you know, I wish I could have good food, but right now I'm just eating what I can. Like I said, you gotta make do with what you have. So food is one thing that I think has decreased the quality of my mental clarity in my videos, as far as, you know, performance in addition to the environment, plus just the lack of habits. The lack of habits, the importance of having a good routine, having a good schedule, and sticking to those high performance habits. So reading, improving literacy, and your knowledge, expanding your knowledge, video courses, whatever it is, whatever you wanna grow your knowledge in. You need to be consuming some sort of information. If you're not engaging your brain constantly in addition to your work, then you're not growing in that knowledge aspect, which, like I said in the first video, knowledge is the most valuable thing you can acquire, right? So like I said, I have most of my habits back, so I'm feeling a little bit better now, like a huge improvement over when I was working. I wouldn't say to like a point where I was depressed when I was working, but it was just work, sleep, repeat, feel like shit, have no energy, barely get anything done, be upset with the progress I'm making in life because you're just working, but at the same time, that was a necessary step to make the money I need to survive. So gotta do what's necessary, right? And ultimately, I think I'm on the right path. If you like any of my mixes, I don't know, I used to be huge, I don't know how to pronounce it, melodic dubstep. So it's like dubstep that has rhythm and emotional highs and lows. Because that's what I listen for, right? I listen for, one is sound design. So whether it's progressive house or like future house or melodic dubstep, very high attention to detail to like how the sound or the song is constructed, if that makes sense, like sound design, plus emotional progression, I think it was, that's what I called it. But basically, music is like my crack, right? So just the highs and lows, like, gets you pumped up, right? That's what it is for me. I don't listen to the words as much, but if you're really into like these mixes and stuff and this style of music, hit me up, I'll send you some good mixes. I always like when people admire my music, so. I'm on Apple Music too. The link is in my link tree, if you wanna listen. I have quite a few playlists, so. But it's a lot of talking, kind of enough talking for now. I think I had to get a workout in, go for a run, going for a little bit longer run, probably to the bridge again this morning. Maybe tomorrow will be a little bit longer run. So this is about just over 4 kilometers. I did the Google Maps thing or whatever to where I would run every day in the morning. And I did this like a year ago too when I wasn't going to the gym because I couldn't afford to drive to the gym every morning. But going to the river, the Pembina, that's about a 14 kilometer, I think it's around four or what's 3 times 3? 9 quarter sections. It's just about 12, just over 12 kilometers, I think. And obviously that's a long run, so that'll put me at like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I don't want to do that every day because it's taking up important time in other aspects of my life, right? So a little bit every day is better than a lot one day. Consistency. So that's what I'm gonna do for runs. You know, I kind of like running. I talked about the runner's high yesterday. You know, it just makes you feel good overall, but it's more just cardio for me. Like you guys, if you've watched my videos, you know that I want to lose a little bit of weight. I want to be like shredded. It's really hard, especially like when I'm not doing anything and when I have not really good food at my disposal, but we're making an effort. It's really hard to like starve yourself for 24 hours, and it is what it is. So, like I said, I wouldn't say it's unhealthy, it's just dedication. It's a cut, everyone does it. So I just really like eating too. That's the crazy thing is people have so many addictions, whether it's your phone, people that sit in bed. I know how many people just on TikTok scrolling in their bed every day and don't end up doing anything. They'd rather sit in their basement and scroll TikTok than go hang out with friends. How many people that have actually asked to hang out with in the past, you know, people that I've been friends with in the past, and they're like, nah, I just don't feel like getting out of bed today. You know, it's just a sad society, and the reality is that's just about everyone now. I think people outgrow that when they get out of high school because they start realizing that life is short and the more valuable things aren't on your phone. But yeah, I don't know, just stay in touch with the core values in life. It's important not to let your ego distract you. Don't push people away that are trying to help you out. Be intentional with your time. Pay attention to other people's intentions. Try and be as healthy as possible and just live life. Like, we're only here for a short amount of time, so might as well make the best of it. My legs sweat a lot. I don't know if this is normal, but I see, I don't know why I decided to wear joggers to work out, but I sweat a lot on the lower half of my legs and not on the top. I know some people have weird sweating issues where they only sweat on their hands. Maybe it's kind of the same thing. I don't know. But you guys might have noticed how I'm only doing like 7. When I do my diamond push-ups, I only do 7 at a time and then do 3 after I take a bit of a break. I think either I hurt my triceps, I think it is, really bad one time, or they're just underdeveloped. So whenever I get past like 7, I start feeling muscle tearing. So overworking your muscles, which isn't good for you, right? So it's better to just take a break and then keep going. But yeah, I don't know, I just thought I'd mention that. If you ever feel like muscle fibers tearing when you're working out under high stress, it's a sign that you're overworking your muscles and it's not good for you. So one thing I wanted to mention too, so I realized with caffeine, I sweat a lot more, I feel more fatigued during my workouts, but the resting period between sets is a little bit faster. So ideally I like to rest the duration of my set. So if I take 15 seconds to do 10 push-ups, I'll rest for 10 seconds between sets, just to get that little bit of recovery. So I don't know if it's a plus or a minus. I think overall for performance, caffeine is kind of a plus, but you know, it's a little bit less enjoyable. You feel kind of like shit. So I would say caffeine makes your workouts more doable, but less enjoyable, if that makes sense. So
I know you love to rock for me. Your favorite thing to say is, but I love when you.
all for TikTok. TikTok made, run done. Now, just imagine if you had money, you know? Your imagination is the most powerful tool you have, so might as well use it. Envision, plan, take action, reap the rewards. My shirt is soaked. Maybe that's the ticket. I don't even know what you call that, like hyper perspirating. Is that actually a technique? Because I think you sweat just as much when you're in the cold. It just evaporates, but beats me. featuring the doghouse I built for my dog. I want to focus. I don't know, but I definitely need a haircut. It's getting a little bit mogging. Why'd it go to focus again? Cinematic. My Face ID thing is fucked, so I think that kind of screws with the cinematic mode, but I don't know. That's probably gonna be it for today. I want to like cut it down, and it's already pretty long. Like, I want to keep them under 20 minutes ideally, but I know it's probably not gonna happen, so this is what you get. I gotta figure out a better way to, what's the right word? Finish the videos. Oh, and I wanted to say thank you for all of you guys that actually support me. People that send me messages, it means a lot. You know, saying that I've inspired them or whatever, and that's ultimately the goal, is like to share a little bit of my knowledge and my, not my discipline, you know, my drive for making my life better and making other people's lives better. So if you've been watching and supporting me, I appreciate it. But